What up, fam? Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Come talk some Sixers with us. And Eagles free agency, giddy up.
Let's go. This ain't the fuck night. Oh, this game, he stinks.
Oh, shit.
It's gone.
Folks, Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Welcome in, everybody. This is Monday morning quarterback only on A2D Radio. Every Monday, we are brought to you by FanUp. FanUp is the best way to enjoy fantasy sports. Daily NBA contests now. All right, get in there. They got the Bachelor, Bachelorette. They got everything for you. And you can challenge people. I mean, I said it all the time. I accept all challenges. 50-50 chance of winning. I accept them all. So go download FanUp. Use promo code A2D for 5,000 bonus points. That's a $50 value. FanUp, right on the Apple Store. Go download it. Use our promo and come on and challenge some peeps. Love challenges. Let's go. That's Ryan Brotto. I'm Tom Arnone. We got a lot to talk about. 2022 NFL free agency news. A lot going on. It's all over the place. All over the place. Everybody's moving and shaking. I love this time of year because there's always new faces and new places, right? It's always new faces and new places. Everybody's moving and shaking. So fun time of the year. And Eagles free agency rumors. We'll talk about some of the rumors going around. And obviously we got Haason Reddick today, and that's a huge upgrade on our defensive line and our defensive end. And he's a guy who comes in and you know what he brings to the table. He's going to get after the quarterback. And you win games in this league by being able to get after the quarterback. Something I thought lacked last year. Big time. I just didn't feel like we didn't have it with our front four ever to get home. This is the guy who definitely makes the Eagles defense better the second he walks into the building. Sixers Nuggets preview. We'll give you that tonight. Sixers -3 at home, coming on a back-to-back to face the Denver Nuggets and the big matchup that is Joel Embiid versus the Joker. It's huge tonight. Right? Almost MVP. You can stamp the MVP tonight if one guy comes out and really takes it to the other guy. Right? I mean, I think you can almost stamp it. And these guys haven't played against each other in 2 years. And it's the first time in the NBA in a while that we're seeing two MVP candidates that are big men having a chance to go up against each other. You don't get a chance to see that too much in the NBA nowadays. Not as much as like in the past for us older guys, right? You see it all the time. At least two all-star, like legitimate big men will go up against each other like all the time in the NBA back in the day. So this is fun as like an old school NBA fan. You get to see two big men that can do so many things. And the Joker, Embiid, and Sixers ties right into our poll question. And our poll question tonight is brought to you by Manscaped. And you can get 20% off and free shipping with the code A2D at manscaped.com. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. You know, our proud sponsor of All Ball. We say it here, all right? Block party last night. Matisse had a great block, and we said All Ball. And the All Balls are brought to you by Manscaped. So hopefully a lot of All Balls tonight for the Sixers defense. Hopefully they get a little palmsy for once. But make sure you go check out all their products, from the weed whacker, the lawnmower, the ball deodorant, the body wash. I can go on for days. The cologne, they have everything for everybody. Go check them out. Use promo code A2D, get 20% off and free shipping. Our poll question for tonight: Joel Embiid will prove he's the MVP tonight in his matchup against the Joker. Agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. That's where we're live. Everywhere you get your podcasts, we're there as well. Make sure you're hitting the like, the subscribe. Stay with us. All right, the follow button, review button, whatever buttons you can hit to stay with us and help us out. The download, right? If you're over on our podcast side of things, wherever you're at, Make sure you're doing those damn things. I agree because I think the one thing he does is I think he's able to take it to him more, right? Than Joker is able to take it to Embiid. So I think like the post down low, Embiid sort of has that win, in my opinion. All right, he sort of has that win. Okay, so now Joker to me has to be able to hit his shots tonight. All right, I think that's important. His mid-range game and his deep game has to hit tonight for him to be successful against Joel. Because I don't know if he's gonna be successful against him in the post. Right. Like I don't know how successful he will. Joel's is so athletic, right? He can, and listen, you're talking about another MVP candidate. So he might very well come and give it to him down low too. I don't know. But what I do know is I'm going to take my chances tonight on Joel having a better game. And is that better game him going for 34, 36 and Joker going for 28, right? So, you know what I mean? It's not like the joke's not going to get his. He's going to get his somehow, right? And I just think it's going to be a little tough for him to get his down low. But offensively, Joel should be able to eat him up, in my opinion, because Joel eats everybody up. So does Joel get the foul calls he's been getting, right? And is the Sixers offense able to just look more fluid like it did the first 5 games? Been a little stagnant, and I sort of counter that to, hey, you just had a really bad game, and you come out a little flat in this one too. It's like a hangover of a hangover. Right. So you're just like, okay. And then you finally start to put it together in the third and fourth quarter. And that's what they did. And their offense looked better and their defense looked better. But I think Joel's defense is the difference in this matchup tonight. I think he makes it a little tougher on Joker to be able to beat him in point production tonight. Right. Now, that's not saying the guy doesn't get sort of his too. I mean, Joel could go off for 40 very, very easily tonight. And so could Joker. So, I mean, they both could, but I'm going to lean on Joe more like 36, 38, maybe even, and Joker like 28, 30. I think he outscores him. He outscores him by like 6 or 8. Well, I mean, nobody's the rest of the league. You know what I mean, babe? Nobody's the rest of the league. Nobody can stop him in the post. You would talk about other guys. Sure, I agree with you. Nobody can stop in the post. That's why I don't want to make it disrespectful. I still say he'll find a way to get his. He ain't bodying him up in the post. The dude fought lines, Don. We've had this conversation a million times. He ain't getting bodied in the post. Joker's mid-range game and everything else, it to me is his big factor on how he's able to outscore him tonight. How can Joker outscore Embiid, right? If you're a Nuggets fan, you're saying, okay, he's got to be great with his mid-range, right? Because his mid-range will then open up him being able to maybe, pump fake, get past Joel, etc. Right? Joel's so good in the post defensively. So that's not an easy task. Nuggets by double digits. Stop double digits. I think the Sixers come out and play their best basketball. We'll preview in a little bit. But I think Sixers come out and play their best basketball tonight. That's just my opinion. But to the poll, I agree. I think he wins tonight's matchup. And winning, I guess, goes into, will prove he's the MVP in tonight's matchup, which really means he's going to win the matchup. But it's more than just like, hey, he takes it to him. It's who wins the game, too. And part of me is agreeing to this, too, because I think they win the night. Right? They had a really bad showing in front of the home crowd the other night against a good Nets team. They can't do that again. So this has got to be one of their best efforts, too. And efforts, I mean, you're on a back-to-back. So your efforts got to be a little higher. And you can't get out to a slow start tonight against a team that of this caliber. You just can't, especially because you're going to have tired legs in the second half. So I'll agree because I think Joel's going to be Joel, and he dominates. And I still think Joker gets his, but I think he'll prove he's the MVP because the Sixers win, too. So he outscores them by like 6 or 8. Sixers win, and it's like a little like.
I said to you before we came on the air, Tom, I said, if for me to disagree with this poll, which I'm not, I'm agreeing to this poll. If I were to play the other side of it, I would have to predict Joel to have a bad game. And we immediately went to last night's game, and it's like, okay, we were watching. You guys were doing live reactions. Joel, we wouldn't say just eye test had a good game. So in a sloppy game by Embiid, which was last night, he still ended up with 35, 16, and 7. Like that was a sloppy, bad, not so efficient night by Embiid, and he ended up with that stat line. So I think he's going to be way more locked in. Like, am I worried about the back-to-back, especially him having to play in an overtime, almost double overtime against the Magic last night? Yeah, I am, especially where this team, and this goes more to the team in the preview, which we'll get to later, but like they've really gotten off to slowish or really slow starts since Harden's been here. And I'm not saying that's a Harden thing. I more look at that as like a Doc Rivers thing. You can't afford to do that again, especially coming off of a back-to-back, because usually with teams coming off of a back-to-back, they're going to run out of steam late. So you really can't afford to dig yourself into a hole. But I disagree with Don. I don't know if Don was just trolling us, but I'm not going to do the whole like, oh, nobody can go up against Jokic in the post. I think they're going to have a game plan to where, because again, they don't have Murray. They don't have Porter. I think, Tom, you said before we came on that the second leading scorer for them is what, Will Barton right now?
Yeah, Will Barton and Aaron Gordon. I mean, they're both over 14. So, there are two other scorers, and then you got, Morris and Green all in double digits. So, they have 5 guys in double digits, and then, their bench comes with some production too. So, it's they can score from different ways. They just don't have those 2 guys.
Yeah, so I think the Sixers game plan could easily be, hey, we're going to kind of smother Jokic and then let somebody else beat us, which, again, given our defensive, incompetencies the last handful of weeks to all season, it wouldn't surprise me if Barton goes crazy or Gordon or a no-name guy, goes crazy, because that's what the Sixers do. That's what teams that go against the Sixers do. But as far as the MVP race, I keep seeing this debate nationally, right? And as a Sixers fan, I don't want to take anything away from Jokic. I do think Embiid's the MVP, and I'm not saying that as a Sixers fan. I'm saying that as an NBA fan. But I also don't want to take away what Jokic has done, what he's been able to accomplish so far, at least in the regular season, where he's really carried this team on his back without Porter and I keep blanking on his name, Porter and Murray, and keeping them afloat. I think that's great. Obviously, he's going to end up probably top 3. I'm just really looking forward to this because I think the last time they faced each other was 2019. We didn't get a chance to see them last year, and the year prior, we didn't get a chance to see those two go against each other. And I see Samuel brings up a great point. MVPs play defense. Joker, everybody says Joker can't be stopped. Listen, man, he's going to get his. I don't think anybody's saying that Joker's going to end up with like 10 points tonight. I think, to Tom's point, like we've talked about before, I could see Embiid having 35 and Jokic having 30. But the biggest point is, if Embiid has 35 and Jokic has 30, are we winning the game? Even if we lose a close one, we can't get blown out tonight for the sake of the MVP and for the sake of morale for this team. Because we can't have 3 straight games where one was a blowout loss, the other one felt like a loss as much as it was a win, and then a loss against this team, especially with the schedule coming up. Like the next week or so is not a walk in the park by any means.
No, I just think I'm not going to take anything away from Joker. I'm just talking about a guy that I see on a nightly basis, right? And what he brings to the table, and that's why he's my MVP. And one, he's outscoring them. So for anybody out there that says one guy can't be stopped, so the other guy can't be stopped either. Now the crazy thing about Joker is he's shooting 57% from the field, which is absurd. It's like unheard of, right? And Joel, nothing to put your nose up to, is 48% from the field, right? The other side of it, Joker's 80% free throw shooter. Joel, 82%. What up, Wayne? Joel, 82% free throw shooter. So, you look at those things and you're talking about 2 big men that can go to the line and they make their foul shots too, really adds on to it. But 57% is ridiculous. Now, I don't know if he can shoot 57% against a guy like Joel. That's what I don't know. But I do know is Joel always is going to get his, and is a nightmare for any big man in the league to try to stop him. So, Joker's not nearly as good of a defender as Embiid is. I think that's just eyes tell you that, and that's not a shot saying he plays no defense. I'm not telling you that, because he does play defense. I'm just saying he's not as good a defender as Embiid is, and Embiid already eats everybody up. Now, Joker does the same thing. He eats guys up too, but is he eating a guy up like this? Because he's really your first team all defensive big man, not Joker. Not Rudy Gobert that usually gets it, right? He's really your first team defensive big man. He's been getting second team honors, right? So, it's sort of been a slap in the face when you talk about Joel. Joel's been getting second team honors all defense, but he never gets the first because of Rudy. He never gets the first team. So I mean, you're looking at that. That just tells you what everybody thinks of him defensively too. So that's not a shot. The other guy to me is a willing defender, but he's nowhere near athletic enough to play defense like Embiid can. And that's the difference in tonight's game, and that's the difference in who's the MVP, in my opinion. One guy's outscoring the other guy, right? And he's a better defender. He's a better rim protector. That's just factual. That's just common sense.
Are you worried at all about, because I mean, we've seen this in the past, especially when Embiid has, he's going up against big matchups per se. And we saw a little bit of this before it really got out of hand against the Brooklyn Nets on Thursday. Are you worried because it is a big matchup that Embiid's going to try and do a little too much and he might cough up the basketball a little bit? Like we've seen, you know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I mean, we've seen him grow. We've seen him grow. I mean, like over time. I think this is a different Joel Embiid. And I think we watched a different one this year. We watched a more consistent one for sure. We watched a guy who's played in more games, knock on wood, than before. We watched a guy who's better conditioned than in years past, right? So I think all those things, especially conditioning to me eliminates mistakes, okay, on the basketball court, because you are tired. You are tired on a basketball court, right? And if you're not conditioned well, your conditioning can take away some of that, right? It takes away some of it, because like tiredness to me equals mistakes. But now, because going too hard and trying to do too much equal mistakes too, yes. But I feel like he thinks he can beat anybody, and that's part of the reason why he'll maybe force the issue sometimes. But I think he's been better with that. I really truly do. I think he's been smarter with that. He's been smarter getting the ball out of his hands more when he sees a double team, especially pre-Harden, right? When he saw double teams a ton, I thought he did a great job of getting the ball out of his hands. So I'm not worried about that tonight. I think this guy, does he want to take it to him? Yeah, but I don't think he's selfish enough to not want to win too.
Yeah, true. That's fair.
He's going to get off 28 attempts tonight? Probably, right? 25? Like, is he going to attempt a lot of shots? Yeah. I mean, so somebody's asking me, like, is Joel Embiid going to take 20-plus shots? Yeah, as he should. As he freaking should. So, I mean, that's how I look at it. Like, why would he not? Why would he not? We don't have enough firepower for him not to take 20 attempts. Yeah,
especially if Harden's not doing what he needs to be doing again. If he's coming out sluggish again, you know what I'm saying? And Maxey looks like, I don't know what the deal with Maxey is right now. I don't know if it's because they're just trying to feel it out. I know it seemed like watching it last night, their game plan was to try and get Tobias Harris going. So naturally, when you're going to get him going, Tyrese is going to take a little bit of a back seat. But I hate pulling like the not the rookie wall, because he's a second year player, but I hate doing that with a young player. Like, oh, maybe he's just hit a wall, because like, listen, he's 21 years old, but I also do have to factor in that he was averaging like 15.6 minutes per game last year, and I think he's averaging close to like 33 now. So like they've been running him a lot. So I could see him, like, for everybody, because I've gotten texts the last 24 hours about like, oh, what's going on with Maxey? I'm not necessarily worried about him, but I do definitely think, to your point, Tom, if Maxey's struggling again, or he's really not an impact in the first half, and Harden kind of goes into that facilitator role, like you saw a little bit in that 5-game winning streak with Harden in the lineup, I absolutely think Embiid's going to get his. And we're not even factoring in the foul line. We're just talking about from the field.
I'm not even talking about going to line 15 times. I mean, no. He just walks into getting his, and it becomes on other guys being able to do things, and if you're previewing the night a little bit, and our preview is brought to you by BetUS, and BetUS has been in the market for 25 years. 25 years. You can bet anywhere, everywhere. You can bet anywhere in the U.S., and you can bet everywhere. Use the link. It's right in our comment section, pinned over on YouTube, and our description over on Facebook. You use that link, you get 125% sign-up bonus. So go check out BetUS. They are the leading online sportsbook who has been in the market for over 25 years. Use the link in our comment section and get yourself a 125% sign-up bonus. Nick says Embiid's got to get out of the slump. Yeah, he's had a bad shooting games the last 2 games in terms of shooting, right? So Nick, I agree with you. Guys go through it. But the problem is the last 2 is two guys, your two best players, have gone through it together.
Yep.
Right. And big ups at the bias for picking it up last night. Now, in terms of Maxey, I don't even chalk it up to being a second year. I just chalk it up to these types of situations. The last two games, I felt like he didn't play. And
he's been a zero. Yeah, he's been a zero.
And he did. And he's too explosive for me to not know you played.
Yeah.
Right. And that's my problem with it. So Tyrese, if you're listening, I love you. You know this, right? Like a son to me. I love to pick on draft night. I'll continue to love it. Be you. Be aggressive. All right? When you have the ball, you can take anybody off the dribble. That creates for your teammates. That creates for everybody. So don't feel like you take a back seat. What I'd like the Sixers to do a little bit more of for all these guys is a little bit more pick and rolls. And they started to do a little bit more yesterday in spots. But I thought yesterday Doc had some great draw ups out of timeouts late in that game.
The Tobias Harris missed layup was an unbelievable play call coming out. He just didn't make it.
And then Tobias Harris 3 was a great play call too.
Yep.
So I mean there were some things down the stretch I thought Doc did a great job of. But I think I agree with TTP. I think tonight's a night where it's a get right night. Because assuming it's not. People are assuming because it's a back-to-back that, this is an outcome. And that's not how it always works. Not how it always works. Sometimes it is. But when all your guys are playing, I don't think it is. And tonight's matchup, what's on the table. TTP, I agree. I think both sort of get out of their shooting slump tonight. And if they don't, listen, people aren't going to be happy around here. Because, if you look at Harden the last two games, I got no time for that. I didn't sign up for that.
Well, it kind of goes back to the conversation we had on Thursday where like a bunch of people were coming in saying, "Oh, why aren't you guys concerned? Why aren't you guys concerned?" And we very clearly said, "Hey, if this continues for another 2-3 games, come back to us." When we talk about the Harden struggles and them being sluggish, and really, there's been zero ball movement whatsoever in the last two games. It's basically been just standing up. Everybody's just watching. Very singular game. Very, okay, Harden's going to do this. And then they're all separate entities. If this continues to trend after tonight and they lay an egg, that goes back to where we say, okay, now concern. Because as much as we harped on, okay, 5-game winning streak with Harden in the lineup before that, that's a streak, that's a trend. Well, now you're going on 3 straight games of sluggishness and a completely different offensive look. So all the peaches and cream go away, especially if you lose tonight.
Oh, yeah, definitely a little bit. I think that, they have to come out with more energy. But I don't think both guys are going to continue to shoot bad. Both guys aren't known to have bad shooting nights too often. And the fact that they both have recently, you sort of hope that it all evens out, right? And they sort of get out of it. Yeah. So I can see both of them sort of getting out of it tonight and having big nights. And that being said, I still want to see, I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Tobias Harris. And I've liked what I've seen out of Maxey too. I think they're both sort of taking back seats in different times to each other. But all 4 of these guys, we talk about the big two, obviously, but the other 2 guys should both be over 15 a night.
Absolutely. And especially with the
different lineups they run. So they're only on the court with one other guy. So it's like, okay, you guys should be averaging 15 a night. Now they do on paper, right? I'm saying like nightly. Like nightly, you should be guaranteed you get 30 plus from those 2 guys, right? Because you're the only other guy that's bringing you production is Niang, right? Because you have no Danny, and then Matisse you're lucky if he brings you a bucket, okay? So and then Shake only had like 1 shot the other night. So I mean, these other guys aren't really getting it, so they're almost all taking back seats to these guys. So these guys got to get all shots.
That's the killer, and it looks like Danny's going to be back tonight, which is good. He was upgraded to probable around 2 o'clock. Yeah.
That's good news.
That's really good. I mean, again, he might put up 2 shots, and you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the funny thing with Danny Green.
Better with Danny here.
I don't know what the hell. I don't know what it is, honestly, because there's nights where
it's winning. It's winning. He does play winning defense. He does play defense. He does communicate out there. Those things don't go overlooked, right? But the other side of it is like, listen, he was around some greatness before, but I think what us is just comes down to like we're not deep, right? No. And we've seen it in the Atlanta series. We're not deep. So if we lose one of those guys, we get real thin. And especially if we lose a guy that's a veteran and a leader out there that does play defense, right? Does make things hard on guys. Some nights he acts like you don't even know he played, and other nights, listen, he's going to hit a couple big shots for you. So
I think his value,
communication, easy money, they go a long way. Yeah. They really do. So I mean, he's not like an end all be all. No. But I'm not saying we lost series, but I think we almost lost the series because we lost him defensively against the Hawks, and people will laugh about it.
Yeah, I mean, we went from him in the starting lineup to Furkan Korkmaz. That alone should be like, there goes 2 games. Not because Danny's good, it's because I almost think his value also with what Danny could do, especially when his shots are coming up, and he's going to give you a couple steals, is he keeps guys like Furkan, Isaiah Joe, Shake Milton off the basketball court. That's the biggest thing. Yeah.
Well, he keeps Furkan off, but like nights like the other night, like last night, and maybe not Thursday, but last night, like if my starters are lackluster early on, I'm subbing them all out. They're all coming to sit down, every one of them, right? And I'll run a whole freaking bench lineup of 5 guys, right? I'll run DeAndre, I'll run Shake. That's where Ferg's got to play then. Niang, and I don't even know who else. With Paul Reed, right? Until Danny, right? I run Paul Reed. Like I don't even care against Orlando. Like in the second quarter there, right? I'm like, hey, come on, we're going all 5. That's where you run your all bench lineups. But he's done a good job of not running all bench lineups. Yeah. But there's some nights where it's like it's valid to do it. Like, hey, you know what? I'm going to send a message that these sluggish starts are not flying with me, right? And it's just a message sender. That's all it is.
That's where you need like a TJ McConnell, not because he's good, but he's going to give you instant energy off the bench. You know what I'm saying?
Guys like Shake can do that if he's given the role where he's the one who has to score. Like if he's on a court with 4 other guys, right, that are all bench guys with him, then he's gonna attempt to score more. If he's on the court with Maxey or Harden, right, or Tobias, he's gonna know to take a back seat, right? So it's all about timing. I'm not clamoring for an all bench lineup. I'm talking about nights where you come out like shit, set a tone, and run them out there. Because maybe they give you a spark. Maybe Furkan hits 2 threes, right? I mean, the sky might fall, but maybe he hits 2 threes, right? So those kind of nights, you just need a spark because you still have the whole second half to try to get it right. You know what I mean? And credit to last night, they did get it right in the second half.
I still think the best Shake Milton I've seen to date is the beginning of last season when they were running the Tyrese Maxey, Shake Milton, like 2-headed monster off the bench because they were kind of feeding off of each other. And we really haven't seen that much, mostly because, again, like before Harden got here, Shake was in and out of the lineup, mostly out of the lineup because he was hurt with the back. But that I wish we saw a little bit more where, okay, Harden comes off and it's Tyrese, Shake, and then you can run him with Embiid. Right. Or even you could put Tobias out there and have DeAndre Jordan on the back. That way you're getting the 2 starters and everything. Because I think that's going to get Shake Milton more involved. You know what I mean? Like it was like a 2-month spurt last season where they were running those 2. And it was like, damn. And that was when Maxey was a one-trick pony on offense. He didn't have this perimeter game.
Yeah, I just right now he's getting around with 2 other guys and then him, so he's still like the third, right? So that's a fear out. But listen, Shake's not great, but he's a guy who can give you double digits off the bench. And him and Niang are important right now, even with Danny back, right? Because they're just important. Those 2 have to score. Now, if it's one guy one night, one guy the other night, fine. But we always talk about I just need 20 from this bench. Can this bench give me 20? Right? And listen, I don't know if I can start Matisse Thybulle anymore. Like Danny Green might have to start starting for me.
He's been atrocious. And he gets in foul trouble immediately now. He has 3 quick fouls within 5 minutes into the second quarter.
It just doesn't matter. Like I'd rather have the spacing. I'd rather have a guy that teams actually have to defend. You can't just leave Danny open for threes. No, you can't. You can't just go, okay, Danny, shoot it. Because guys, maybe some nights you can, but then there's gonna be other nights where he's gonna roast you, and teams know that.
Yeah, I honestly think it's coming. It's coming soon.
I mean,
I think if we have
said roast him because he'll hit 3, but you know what I mean.
Well, you know what's the problem is the last couple games you have, and maybe this is because Harden's kind of struggled a little bit, but you haven't even gotten a chance to see Harden get him going. With Thybulle streaking to the basket and everything. He's been a 0 on offense, and he's really been a negative on defense. I mean, he made some good plays in the late stretch. I'm glad Doc challenge that one where it was all ball and it was a
No,
block.
yeah, that's different. They're situational, right? They're situational, and that's what a defensive player is. Situational, right? When you can't make the three, then you're not a 3-and-D. So you hurt me offensively, and people are gonna say, "Well, Tom, it doesn't matter. You have all this other firepower." I get it, but then teams can. We had this conversation for 4 years. Teams can then, right, just pull off. Right now, everybody drops back, and everybody goes in the middle of the court, which then makes it hard for guys like Harden, for guys like Embiid, because now everybody's crammed down in there because they don't believe you're gonna make a three, so they don't have to respect it. Now with Danny, they have to respect it. It's a respect thing. If you can shoot 35% from three, right, or 32%, like something over 30%, right, then teams at least respect it. Like, okay, this guy can make it. Not you can't be shooting 23%, 21%. Okay, it's because you'll attempt it doesn't mean teams are going to respect it. Then you better hit like 2 in a row for teams to start closing out on you.
Mm-hmm. Imagine would you, because I don't think we've seen much of this, a 5 on the floor of Harden, Maxey, Danny, Niang, Jordan.
No, but we probably will. Point.
I wouldn't mind that. You know what I'm saying? Because again, you're having 2 shooters, really 3 if you're factoring Maxey, but 2 guys that can absolutely flourish with Harden. You know what Jordan's going to be able to do on the interior, especially with the pick and roll with Harden. And then Maxey is that, the instant energy, and also he's your other star.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a bunch of different things they can do, right? I mean, in terms of rotations and stuff like that. And I think part of that is them trying to figure that out as a coaching staff on who fits together. So, that's also part of when we talk about, give it time to work. Part of that give it time to work is allowing the coaching staff to sort of feel it out too. Like, hey, these guys play really well together. These 2 play really well together. These 3 play really well together, right? And you start to find that out. So then you say, okay, I'm going to leave James and Tobias in with these 3 guys, or I'm going to leave Joel and Maxey in with these 3 guys, right? And you start doing different rotations like that because you start to figure out who fits well together. And I think that's part of the reason why we say, hey, these guys got to play, because the more they can play, the more coaching can figure it out, and they can figure it out as pro players. So games are important. Games are a necessity right now to play. And I said it last night, like, listen, do I want to roll the Magic? Yeah. But I almost get more out of last night's game than most people do. I just do.
It was the first time they've been in a situation where they had to grind out a win. They either have gotten blown out or they've blown somebody else out.
Yeah, they were down 17. Yeah. They did fight and scratch to get back into that game after a poor start. So sometimes you can take more out of those types of wins than you can of we go down, we beat Orlando by 25. Right? So you can take more out of it. It's not the kind of win I'm looking for, but at the end of the day, I'd rather have came back and beat you than us be up big, you come back, and us barely beat you. I'd rather win it that way because that shows me more resiliency than the other way. So slow starts concerning, and one thing is they got to get out of that. They got to start getting out of that their way with that tonight. You can't give up 35, 40-plus points in the first quarter, and that's where their slow starts have been. Essentially, it's been more on the defensive side, and then that translates to the offensive side. The other thing is this team's got to get back and play defense. I mean, their transition defense is atrocious. It's been atrocious all year. All right, and now when Kevin Durant's saying, hey, I know they don't give a 3rd and 4th effort. Excuse me? So now my eyes are all over it. Now
scouting report is out.
Yeah,
scouting report is out.
So me and you were looking at it, right? The whole world's looking at it. The whole NBA is, at least. So now teams know. Last night it was 17-0 after the first half in transition buckets for the Magic to the Sixers. All right, that's unacceptable. So 3rd and 4th efforts, if that's really a thing, and this is true, that's a problem because that's not a talent thing. That's never a talent thing. That's an energy and effort thing. So if you're lacking your energy and effort, people better wake the fuck up if we're talking about trying to cut nets down.
Well, especially when you're already a poor rebounding team. You're already an extremely poor transition team. So now you're telling me that opposing teams' offenses know, hey, keep the ball moving. Once you pass it a second and third time, they're going to stop. They're going to get flat-footed. And in the slight chance that they miss that shot on the second or third effort, they miss it, and then it comes out for another rebound. Number one, that's going to kill us. And then also, you know how much clock that's running down? That's all time of possession that goes out our window. That's gone. So it's like, where are you making that up? Because you're not making it up with turnovers. You're not making it up with getting back on defense. And then if you've had the last two games where Harden's cold, Embiid is at least cold from the field, and then Maxey and Matisse have been zeros offensively, where are you making that up? That's where you get in the spot where, okay, you're going against Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and you get embarrassed. That's where it's like, okay, you
do. Their issues are a 1-2. Defense is a 1-2. Transition defense is a 1-2. Right? So those things become 1-2s. So you got to then hone in on those things, because those things that you're giving those 1-2 efforts on, right, are the difference of the difference of you being in a game and not being in a game.
Yep.
Right? Those two things can get you through nights where you're not shooting great. Right? Those are the type of things that can help you get through those nights.
Well, especially when you're going against an Orlando Magic team where effort is all they can really rely on. Like, I know they have young skill players and they're going to be good in a couple of years, but it's all about energy and effort. And if you're coming in lackluster, that's, again, Doc Rivers said it in the postgame last night. They got rat out of the gym in the first half because we were flat-footed defensively, and all those young guys on the Magic, they were just coming out and just running the side of the gym.
Yeah.
That's how you get in those 17, 18-point deficits. It's not because they're better than us. No, we're cold. We're a little bit cold offensively, and we aren't even trying on defense. Got to make it up somewhere.
100% right. So where do you make it up on? And that's what we're talking about. How do you make it up? And I don't know. But I've been in the belief that this team's going to drop 120 a night. So you just got to play enough defense, right? And last night, credit to them, they locked in later in that basketball game, but that can't be the normal. So again, I think last night was just a hangover. They're able to come back and win. Hey, anyway you win, that's way better than losing to a team like that. So we'll take it and we'll move on. We have a back-to-back to sort of try to, hey, can we figure some of our trends out tonight? So to our little trend of not getting off the slow starts, can we fix that tonight? Can we fix it? Can we come off, and even if we're down 2 after the first quarter, we're not off to a slow start. Make sense? Can we fight a little bit, scratch and claw? And now that Danny is playing, I'm probably like, I don't know. Like I would really force, like if I was in a room with Doc, I would really force the Danny Green start on him. Like period. It's not like Matisse, man. Bring Matisse off the bench. Be him situational right now.
Yeah, I just gotta treat him like I just gotta treat him like a defensive specialist right now. Use him out of key timeouts and matchups and all that stuff. That's it. Like he's not an entity offensively. And again, when you're gonna get 3 quick fouls like you have halfway through the second quarter, I can't put you on the floor. There's no value for me to put you on the floor.
No, absolutely none. Absolutely none. There's no value. TCP says Maxey has to stop trying to beat guys to spots on defense, square up, keep guys in front. Teams attack him because he's all over the place and undisciplined. I agree. That's something he needs to get better at defensively. Now, he has the 2 things that can make you a good defender, right? He's fast and he's a 1-2 guy. So, to me, it's something you can get better at.
You know what he's, at least on the offensive side, the last 2 games, which I think has been a big part of his struggles, aside from him being extremely passive when you talk about, willingness to shoot 3-pointers, he's reverted back to what he was only doing in his rookie year. And that was he's not going, and Harden, this is something Harden's been yelling at him to do ever since he got here when he was Coach Harden, before the All-Star break. He's not taking that extra couple of steps and finishing at the rim and going up. He's settling for that floater, like right at the foul line. You know what I'm saying? Where he just goes up and he hits the little floater, and every single one of them have been short. So again, I don't know if that's a comfort thing. I don't know if it's he's hit a little bit of a wall because his minutes have increased. I don't know what the hell it is. That's killed him because he hasn't done that all season. He's been so good because he's going straight to the basket and he's either making it or he's getting fouled.
Well, yeah, I'd almost rather him really run points sometimes because I think he can get us out in transition. I think he can do some things that are important that he really doesn't get the chance to do with Harden because Harden doesn't really want to run. He wants to slow things up. I see tons of people talking Eagles stuff. We'll get into Eagles and free agency in a little bit here. Don that says, why are people mad at Matisse? He was never a good scorer coming out of college. No, yeah, I don't think it's a mad. I just think, hey, I know what he is. So I'm not gonna try to make him something he's not right now, and continue to try to get better at shooting the three ball. But right now, I'm going to go with a best way for me to space the floor.
Yeah, it's
and
not
I'm getting a willing defender in Danny. Sorry, I'm getting a willing defender, replacing him in the starting lineup over Danny. So I'm getting that willingness. That's to me why it's a no-brainer.
It's not Don. It's not that people were. I mean, some people were angry at it. I'll just speak for Tom and I. We're not angry at it, but it's frustrating because we never talk Matisse Thybulle and lead off with offense. Never, because we know better. We know that he's not going to be somebody that's going to put up 15 to 17 points a night. It would be foolish if we expected that. It's that, number one, if you just go by the numbers, which I'm not a big numbers guy, I'm more of an eye test guy. He's shooting less and his volume's gone down. His efficiency's gone down since his rookie season. So if anything, he's gotten worse offensively. And it's that he has nothing to rely on. What NBA player who was picked in the first round, right, who's in your starting lineup, do we say, hey, if it gets you anywhere from 9 to 12 points, we're ecstatic? Not many. We want him to have one thing he's reliable on offense.
Well, I mean, you can't even use you can't even use that.
What, the first round thing?
Yeah, because like the NBA first round really doesn't matter unless you're in the lottery.
Fair. Okay, so a starter then, because again, he's supposed to be the starter that nobody really cares about. It's just, hey, don't be a liability. That's really what he's asked to be.
Yeah.
Don't be a liability, and you're doing your job with a guy who's going to get you involved in Harden, and also you're going to be open a lot because you can't double Harden and Embiid. He's going to be open. Whether it's just a corner three, which I think he's third worst in the NBA corner threes.
Probably.
Of anybody who qualifies. No, I'm not even exaggerating. I think he's third worst, which I feel bad for whoever's second and first worst in that category.
Want to get those names.
Yeah, I'll get those names so I never want them in free agency ever. And two, we need you to just have some redeeming quality, something. And he just really hasn't shown that. He'll have nights where he goes 2 for 4 from 3, and it feels like we're stealing money. Like, that's awesome. And usually, like I see a stat all the time on Twitter that I think the Sixers are undefeated when Matisse Thybulle is in the starting lineup and he scores more than like 11 points. Like some weird stat like that. But somebody can look at that and be like, oh, that doesn't mean anything. But also it does, because that's showing that it's no longer a 4-on-5 basketball situation. That's it. And when the last 2 games, when you have Harden struggling and then Maxey not being anything on offense, you need somebody to step up, especially when you don't have anybody on defense that's not George Niang. Like the ironic thing is our second best bench player has been DeAndre Jordan. And he was the guy that everyone was furious. Not everybody, but a lot of people were furious that we even got him. Oh, he's 50. He's washed. Look at, since he's been here, he's the second best bench player. And I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm saying that's a bad thing.
Yeah, so, I mean, he's shooting 28% from three-point land. So that's just not good enough, right? I'd rather have a fur can out there then. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not good enough. So, I mean, I need you to be around like 35, 38%. Like, right, especially if you really want to be a 3-and-D guy, you can shoot, you can shoot to upwards of 38, 40%. So, that's the thing. No, he has no post game.
No, he can dunk. He's athletic and he can dunk. That's all he can do.
Dunk. He just needs to be able to shoot the three. Right? You can't shoot the three at 28%. Like, to be a 3-and-D guy and to really create spacing for your basketball team. The thing is, he is a damn good defender, and you would love him in the lineup, like as a starter, if he could just shoot the three. So the fact that he can't shoot the three well enough is what kills you. Nice, he shoots the three well, we win, even if that's 2 threes made. Right? All right. 1 3 made. Run for 3. Like, just something that make teams have to say, okay, I got to defend them a little bit tonight. That's simple as that.
Oh no, Umberto. Listen, I'm a big George Niang. We're Nianged up. He says you got to show Niang tons of love. He has been a real bright spot off the bench for the Sixers. Listen, there's nights where I'm thinking, oh my God, can you play him at the 3? Now, I don't think you can do that because then you really have nobody coming off of your bench. But it's like, yeah, no, there's times where he needs to finish games on the floor. He's a perfect fit with James Harden. Perfect. And I pray to God that you can get that same impact from Danny Green. Because the biggest difference between Danny Green and George Niang as far as fits with Harden, one guy's shots are going in. And he has the trust of James Harden. He's begging him to shoot.
They're different positions. So
true.
Niang's not going to play the 3. So Niang's got to almost play the 4 in today's game. He's almost too slow to play the 3 in today's game.
The only team he can play the 3 against is Milwaukee. That's the only team. But no, I'm not saying I love it.
No, I just want to do it because I think I get really roasted defensively. But
it's like the slowest team ever.
Listen, in the fourth quarter yesterday he was in. So and then he was winded because he played a lot of minutes. So
34, I think 34.
Yeah. So he got. It's really the minutes more than like when you're playing per se. Sometimes with your bench guys, right? But I think Danny just opens you up a little bit offensively. He's not going to probably do what Niang does on a nightly basis, but he still gives you the threat of the 3 ball, which just opens it up.
TTP, he's had the lacerated finger the last 3 games. But he was, again, I don't know if he's 100% playing, but he was upgraded to probable around like 2:00 this afternoon.
It's just a nice thing to have. It's a nice thing to have back. That's all you're looking for. If we're getting 40 scored on us in a quarter, why Thibault playing 30+ minutes? I agree with you. If you're not going to play defense, and Jesse, if you're not going to play defense, then give me some more offense on the court. I couldn't agree more.
I do want to read you this real quick, Tom, before we go to Eagles. So in this MVP conversation, I pulled up, these are the current odds to win MVP. So it's their current top 5. Tell me if you agree with the order and tell me if they left anybody off. And fam, chime in as well. So the current favorite, you want to guess who the current favorite is?
I would say Embiid.
Minus 120, Joel Embiid.
All right.
You want to guess who 2 is?
Joker.
Yep. Plus 140. 3.
Ja.
Nope.
Eastern
Conference.
Oh, Giannis.
Yep. Plus 750. So a big jump.
Yeah, big jump. Yeah.
4.
4's got to be Ja.
Nope. Eastern Conference.
Eastern Conference again? Durant?
Nope.
No, he didn't play enough.
No, he's your favorite player's teammate.
Oh, DeRozan? Jesus.
Yep.
DeRozan over Morant? Okay.
Plus 2,000. 5.
The Ja?
Ja plus 2,500.
Okay. All right. Man, I thought Ja's odds would be a little higher.
I think what hurts him in the odds book is that they went on that winning streak without him earlier in the season. They went like 9 of 10 or something.
Okay. Well.
But I mean.
Yeah. I just thought that like the league was sort of like jumping on that. I sort of felt like that was, almost being shoved down my throat a little bit.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think, who was it? And I almost threw something at the TV because I never thought I would see the day. A big man, Shaquille O'Neal, calling John Morant the best player in the league.
Yeah. I was just like,
now, do you think that's because he's jealous of Embiid? Because every of all the years of me watching Shaquille O'Neal on that postgame, he never gives guards credit. And listen, John Morant's awesome, but what are you doing? The two best players, the reigning MVP and the guy who should win MVP this year, they're both big men. What are you doing, Shaq? What are you doing?
I don't know. I guess he doesn't really, like. I could see him like Joker, like not being like love with Joker, right? from a big man status because it wasn't his game. But I don't know how he doesn't love Embiid.
Yeah, must be a jealousy thing because he can actually make his free throws.
They both can.
Yeah, yes, they can.
They both can. Yeah, I mean that's where the odds should be though. When the only one I would probably maybe say is like Ja over DeRozan, but still have DeRozan in the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
These last 17 games, I know Durant missed a lot. I don't know what makes him eligible, but if he goes off like he's been, and he's going to jump himself into probably a top 5.
Yeah, true.
Yesterday, real quick, yesterday was absurd. Yesterday's game from him was absurd. It was absolutely absurd. I mean, nobody could stop him.
Don says, "Wait a sec. I think he meant to say Shaq and Barkley." No, I'm joking, Don. I know they don't hate Embiid. I understand that. It was just weird to hear a big man that never gives credit to guards to be like, "Oh no, that's the best."
He is balling, so I hear him.
He's awesome.
Hot take. It's a hot take. It's almost disrespecting what the other two have done this year, in my opinion. But listen, Joel's the MVP tonight. Can stamp it to me, to the people out there than me. Even not including tonight, he's still the MVP of the league. If Joker somehow beats him in points tonight, I'm not out on Joel as the MVP yet.
No, I mean, I think we both agree the biggest thing that killed Embiid's chances last year wasn't that Jokic was necessarily better. It's that Embiid missed too many games. That's what it came down to.
Yeah, and he's not now. So there's a difference maker. But everybody joining us, we'll give a prediction for the Sixers. I'm gonna say 120, 112.
I'm gonna go 118, 114.
All right, we're right around there. So there's our prediction for the Sixers tonight. They got a big one down at the Wells Fargo. That's tipping off in about an hour. All right, so stay tuned for that. Everybody out there, make sure you stick around for that. And we're going to give you some Eagles talk. Right, it is free agency. We're going to give you some free agency talk just in general. So we got a lot of it's tis the season, baby. Tis it up. I love this time of the year. And this is brought to you by Gleason's Bar, and they're located at 6700 Mill Creek Avenue in Levittown, PA. Use promo code A2D for 10% off your order whenever you dine in, take out, or online. Gleason's Bar and Steaks.com is where you can find them. All right, anybody in the Levittown area, go get yourself a Trenton Whiz Wit. Oh, delicious. Right, or they got regular cheesesteaks too that are great. They got tons of great stuff up there. Go get 10% off your order. All right. Dine in, take out, or online. Gleason's Bar and Steaks.com is where you can find them.
I have some Eagles quarterback news, Tom.
Oh, we're back in on Deshaun Watson.
Nope, the opposite. If we're going to believe John McClain, not from Die Hard. I believe this is John McClain from the Houston Chronicle. Deshaun Watson has officially rejected everyone besides the Carolina Panthers and New Orleans Saints. Watson is set to meet this evening in Houston with the Panthers and Saints.
Yeah, well, supposedly, and I guess that this is why that makes sense. Supposedly, the Browns offered 2 firsts, Kareem Hunt, a 5th, and Baker Mayfield for Deshaun Watson, and they turned it down. So I guess that was more Watson turning that deal down because I said it in my head, how do you turn that down, Houston? How do you turn that down? Forget Baker. How do you turn down? You get Kareem Hunt, you get 2 firsts and a 5th. You can't turn that down. Move on. Time to move on. So that makes sense. So Carolina, it is. Yeah. That seemed like the most reasonable, unless the Saints come calling. But I don't know.
We've been talking. I'm going to be happy when this Deshaun Watson thing's officially done. Kind of like I was happy when the Russell Wilson stuff was done, just because seems like we've been talking about it forever. And listen, would Deshaun Watson be an upgrade over what we have? Of course, but we get to a point where it's just okay, just enough of the same stuff. He is interested. Oh, he's not interested. Oh, the Eagles are in. Oh, they're not in. I think you and I have been talking about this for 2 summers now, or 2 springs. Carolina always seemed the team that made the most sense to me because they were the team that was most desperate. And also you look at the moves that coincided with them getting Sam Darnold last year. As soon as everything kind of hit the fan with whether or not Deshaun was going to be able to play or not last spring, they immediately went to, oh, okay, backup plan, Sam Darnold. I think it makes too much sense. And again, I'm not saying New Orleans is absolutely out on this, but Carolina has been the team that makes the most sense. You could put McCaffrey in the deal. You can put some picks, maybe a young defensive player, because I know they have a ton. They have like 3 cornerbacks now. It's interesting if he lands there, what that does now that Brady's back in that division. Because a week ago, that was looking like one of the worst divisions in football, with a quarterbackless Buccaneers team, a quarterbackless team in the Saints. I guess it looked like Sam Darnold was going to be back with the Panthers and Matt Ryan, but yet nobody else really on the Falcons. So that really, in a week span, puts a shot in the arm to that division.
Yeah, I'm cool. You want to get Deshaun Watson, I'm in. So I just want to make that clear to the people. I'm in. I'm in for any upgrade over what I have right now. That gives me the best chance to play deep into the playoffs. Right. That's the ultimate goal. I'm going to play deep into the playoffs. And no disrespect to Jalen Hurts. Listen, he's everything I want a quarterback to be. All right, in terms of the other stuff, right? The other stuff. Okay, but in terms of playing a position, man, I need to see a lot more. And listen, will we give it another year? Yep, because I'm not drafting one now. I'm just not. Now, listen, if that's the direction they go, then credit to them for being the factory they are. But me, I'm telling you what I'm not doing. I'm not. So now I got to give them this year. So knowing I got to give Jalen Hurts this year, what am I going to try to do to put my team in the best position to win football games? Right? So what are my strengths? So now this is where Tom gets all over Howie Roseman. This is where it starts. Now, I'm not all over him yet. I'm telling you how it can start. Then I need to have a top 5 defense, or at least top 10. All right? Top 10 defense, minimum. And I need to have a top 5 rushing attack. And I need to be able to throw the football enough. Right? How can I be successful? How can Tom make the Eagles successful? Well, listen, Reddick, a great start to your defense. All right, double-digit sack guy. Sorry, and the numbers over the last 2 years, he's like 3rd in terms of sacks over the last 2 years. So that's big. That's big.
Real quick nugget to that. So the Eagles defense last year, how many sacks do you think they had combined?
Like total as a team?
Yes.
I don't know. Tell me.
29.
Wow, Jesus God. Okay.
Haason Reddick the last 2 seasons, 23 and a half.
It's an edge rusher that is desperately needed. You have to get to the quarterback in this league. It's something that I think killed our defense last year. And then we didn't bring any pressure either. Like I said, it's not a concern. It's more of a question. Is he more of a stand-up DN to me? So do they stand him up more? Do they allow it to happen in a 4-3? I know people tell me they run different fronts. I get all that, but you're paying $30 million guaranteed, so I need him on the field as much as possible. I almost said on the court because I'm so used to basketball right now. I need him on the field as much as possible. So that, I understand guys get snaps off. I get that. My question to the people out there: if he does run 3 downs per se on a series, right? Is he stand up the whole time? I have no problem with one guy being in the dirt, one guy standing up. It's just a question. Is he going to have to play with his hand in the dirt? I know he's done it in the past at Temple. I get it. He's had the ability to do it, but there's a reason he's standing up in the NFL. There's a reason, because somebody said, hey, you're better standing up. So, right? You guys understand what I'm saying here? So there's a reason he's standing up. Now, I don't care what they do with him. It's just more of a question. And I think, listen, this makes your defense better the second right now. We're already better than we were last year. Okay, so now what else needs to be done? Well, listen, we need a safety. Okay, what are we going to do with the other corner? Maybe that's the draft. I don't know. All right, and you need a middle linebacker. So you really want to you don't want to go get a quarterback? Fine. So then you need to go out and you need to get a guy like Bobby Wagner. All right, you need to get a guy like, I know you're going to bring up Marcus Williams. You need to go up and upgrade the middle of your defense, because you win in the middle. You win in the middle. So who's going to be your safety? Who's going to be your middle linebacker? You can go Dennis Kirby says Jordan Hicks. Listen, I would like Jordan Hicks, but I feel like he's going to come here and get hurt. You know what I mean? Like he's been healthy, and now he comes here and gets hurt. So
he gets hurt walking off the plane.
Jordan Hicks would help that tremendously, right? I would definitely feel more comfortable with that. But I'm more in like, hey, I'm trying to have top 5, right? And Bobby Wagner, Marcus Williams, with what I have already, that puts me in, and that puts me now talking about top 5, talking about it, having a conversation about it, because I have playmakers, right? I have a playmaker at the cornerback position. I have a playmaker at the middle linebacker position. My front 4 on paper is really good, really good. Okay, and now my safety position is big time upgraded. Probably not to the, we need 2, right? In my opinion, but definitely a start. Definitely a start.
So you look at right now, right? And with the Reddick signing, the linebacker position, you have Davion Taylor coming back. You've got TJ Edwards, and you've got Bradley, and then Singleton if he comes back. So you're going to need to make another one. You're going to need to make a move somewhere else. And I also see, like, I see all these people saying, "Oh, well, the Haason Reddick move shows we're not going to go at edge in the first round." I completely disagree with that. Completely disagree. Because one, if we know a position in the draft that Howie loves going in, it's edges, it's defensive linemen, it's the line period. And two, like I get it. Like I saw somebody earlier say, "Oh, he's going to start opposite of Brandon Graham." I don't know what Brandon Graham is. I don't know what he is.
Yeah, that's where you have Sweat. I mean, listen. Would I put it past the Eagles to draft a defensive end? No. But what I'll say is, I don't think they make 3 picks in the first round. So, so I don't think they go D end in the first round. Could I see it later? Yeah. Could they go D tackle in the first round? Yes, I could see that. Okay, but I don't see D end in the first round. I see D tackle. All right. I see maybe corner. Now, if they draft 3, and then maybe even they could go offensive line, which wouldn't shock me. Okay, they could go wide receiver, which wouldn't shock me. So that their positions offensively. Now, is there a running back that has a first round grade where they go that direction? I don't know. I think that's more of a thing they do later. Yeah. But the other one is, hey, linebacker. So I mean, to me, it's like you go D tackle, linebacker, and safety, or D tackle, linebacker, corner. Like, I mean, you're asking me what I do? That's what I do, right? And then I go, okay, what veteran wide receivers can I go out and sign to try to give this kid the best chance to be successful throwing the football?
Well, I'll ask you, and then I'll start with you, Tom, and then Fam, let me know what you guys have in mind too. We see them; they've already, struck gold once with a big splash with Haason Reddick. What's the next move they make? If you had to predict. If you had to kind of gauge what Howie Roseman's doing, because we've had many years of kind of trying to follow and get in Howie Roseman's head, what's the next domino that falls?
I'm gonna say wide receiver.
You have a specific one in mind that you think we're going to get? Because I agree with you. I agree.
There's all the names that have been mentioned, like Jonathan DJ Chark, Juju Smith-Schuster, Allen Robinson. I mean, people just started throwing his name around today because he got released. But Jarvis Landry.
Apparently the Ravens are looking to get him.
All right, right. So I mean, any of these names, sound make sense to me. Now, what I would want that next move to be a linebacker, but that's what I would want. But with the way I think, I can see them going receiver.
And with linebacker, Tom, do you absolutely need it to be a middle, or are you cool with an outside? Okay, so you're not cool with another outside guy.
No.
Okay, because I was going to say, like, maybe
Bobby Wagner or Jordan Hicks. This is what this has to be.
Okay, because I was going to say, like, because I know they talked late last week, or they were rumored to be targeting friend of the program, Uchenna Nwosu.
I would take Uchenna.
Yeah. Now I know he's more of an outside guy per se.
One of them guys can go. I mean, I don't. You know what I mean? Bye.
Yeah.
Bye. I'm just trying to get better. He's a damn good football player. I'll take him in a heartbeat. Take him in a heartbeat and get him back on the show again. So simple as that. But we really need a middle.
Now, when it comes to the draft, Tom, so this was post Haason Reddick signing. 3 guys. So I'll take out 19 because I agree with you that we're probably not going to make more than 2 picks in the first round. So the first 2 picks they have us taking in this mock post Haason Reddick, Devin Lloyd, Jordan Davis.
Yeah, I'm good.
I think Jordan Davis makes a lot of sense now, especially if they move off of Fletcher.
22.
Oh yeah, he's not 26. He's not 26 anymore.
Yeah, he's not 26. If you're just joining us, make sure you hit the like, make sure you hit the subscribe. Stay with us a while. All right? Be a fucking winner. Stay with us for a while. We're trying to win football games, trying to win basketball games here. Yeah, I mean, Devin Lloyd's 40 time a little weird to me. But I'm not like, it doesn't mean I'm out on him because I'm not like Mr. Combine. I don't give a shit. I'm Mr. What do you do on tape? What did you do in games? What did you do in meaningful games? Are you a player? Do you have instincts? What are your instincts like? Right? So I'm more of like the what that can do is just solidify a guy. Right? And I think that's what it does for a lot of guys, and then it jumps guys who don't have the tape. Right? That's sort of what it does. And that's sort of what it make. I'm not a tape guy, but I'm saying like tape, like they played and you watch them and you're like, yo, this dude can play. Right? There's type. Now these guys watch tape. So as a tape watcher, then you're going back and you're not watching them live and you're watching it like it's live, but you're honing in on that guy. What does he do? Does he take plays off? Like, right? Is he all over the field? Is he a playmaker? So, they're the kind of things that I got to know that shorts and a t-shirt will never tell me. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I hate bringing this guy's name up, but the biggest, example of this is the Rager example. It's that, and the funny thing is, I don't even think he had that good of a 40 time, so it even makes it worse. But everyone was like, "Oh, look how fast he is!" Just looking at him just running, but then they didn't factor in how slow he was on the field, like in game speed. And the age-old line, which you and I talked about on draft night, was there was a difference between speed and quickness. He can have speed, but if he's not quick, when he's not quick getting open, getting off the line of scrimmage, he's not going to survive. So that's with any position. So, like, I'm not going to look at, like you said, like what a guy does in the shorts and the t-shirt. I will look at what Jordan Davis does. It's like, oh my God, he outran Patrick Mahomes. Okay, that's something that he's a freak. He's not 26. He's a freak. But I'm going to look at what he's done in meaningful situations instead of, hey, run through that cone 5 times and then come back and do some jumping jacks. Like, I'm good. I'll pass.
Yeah, I want to see how you dominate on the football field. And Bert said Devin Lloyd or Nakobe Dean. Nakobe,
100%.
Yeah, but I mean, again, I'm not going to be mad at Devin Lloyd either because I think he can play. So I would just rather have that. But really, this is where my head's sort of at. I could see them trading up and still making 3 picks. So I could see them using one of their first and maybe like a third and trade up because somebody who I really want is Sauce Gardner. I really want me some Sauce. I really want another corner to go alongside Darius Slay right now. And I think that's the perfect guy. And you sort of put that position to bed for a while. Listen, he's good. He's really good. So I could see them even doing something like that where they don't make 17 and they give up like a third, right? Or even a fourth and they move up or whatever, right? I don't know what that would take, but something probably around a first and a third and you get up a little higher, maybe a first and a fourth.
Hell, they might use Fletcher to go up.
Yeah,
not just Fletcher, but they might attach him to.
Yeah,
something.
But they lose too much money on the cap hit. They have to wait till after June 1st.
Okay.
It's like one of the June 1st ones. Yeah. That's why. That's like
that's like one of the worst NFL rules ever. Like I gotta wait until like after everything's over. You know what I'm saying? By June 1st, it's like everything's done. That's like 2 months after the draft.
Yep, I agree.
Or maybe a month after the draft. I do see TTP saying Stingley. I think there's a chance he drops, but again, it goes back. I'm not comparing it to the Sidney Jones, but if he drops, it's because of the medicals.
Well, no, I mean not necessarily. I mean, the 2 corners don't have to go in the top 10, so that's not necessarily like a gimme. I know Stingley was rated high, but if Sauce sort of jumps him or Sauce can fall if Stingley goes, it's all dependent on so many things.
Yeah, Sauce is a top 10 talent according to this now. He's all the way up at 10.
Yeah, and he's a smaller scorer, even though they got into the BCS, so he sort of worked his way up. But listen, I'll take Stingley. I'll move up for the right safety, John. I'm just saying, like, I would move up for Sauce because I don't think it's going to take you a lot to get from where you're at. Like, if you give up 15 to go to 10, that's not gonna cost you a ton. Listen, so there's so many things they can do, but they have to address. And I'm not a position guy. They really do have to take. If you stay where you're at, then it's got to be the 3 best guys on your board.
Yep.
And why I don't think they stay where they're at is they're jammed up, right? They're all together, per se, right? So I think you use 15 or 16, and I think you try to make some magic upwards. Now, if they're losers, like they potentially are usually in the on draft night, which they usually are, they're losers. They use one of them picks and they trade out, and they try to get all this extra, right? If they're winners, it's an easy trade up. 15 to 10 is nothing. 15 to 8 is nothing. That's nothing. That's not a jump. You're giving up a third.
I could see Howie doing both. I might, if there's no odds on this. I don't even know
go up and trade out?
No, not trade out. So today we sit here 15, 16, 19, right? I could see draft night. We make picks 10 and 26.
Sorry, Bailey. He said college football playoffs, not BCS. Golf. My bad, Bailey. I didn't keep up with the change, I guess. So he goes up to 10 and keeps 16,
or
trades the other one out, possibly. But like if I go up and I'm getting up a third, I don't need that back. I'm using 3 picks in the first round. I'm getting the arguably the best talent that there is, right? The only way I trade out of the first round, right? The only way is if I get another first the next year.
Well, that's what I think he's going to do.
So if I can get another first next year to trade out of the first round, then yes, I am up for it, because if Jalen Hurts isn't the answer, then I need Bryce Young, I need CJ Stroud, or another name that comes out of the nowhere that we don't know about that has a monster year next year in college football. So that's the direction. So I'm in for trading up, trading out to get a first for next year, right? And then keeping one, right? So I go up to 10 and I draft 10 and 16, right? Hey, or 10 and 15, whatever it is, then hey, I'm good. I'm good, because then I still have 2 first round picks, right? And I traded up for one, because that means I really got a guy that we all like, we would assume, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we're trading up, and I still have 15 or 16 to work with. Okay, so I'm getting another talented player, hopefully. And then I still got the rest of my drafts. I got a second. I probably don't have a third this year because I traded it, but I probably got it in return for a first next year and a third for somebody to trade up to my first, right? So I'm getting everything back, right? It's everything you need.
You have a third if you, because again, like, I completely agree with you. We both know Howie gets handsy on draft night, and now he's going to have 3 to work with, so where he's really not going to know what to do with his hands. He goes 15 to 10, right? That's step 1. He's like using the draft trade machine. He goes 16 out. That's where he recoups that first rounder, right?
Yeah, because it's a high pick. Yep.
And a team maybe, and then he goes 19 to like 24, and he recoups that value where he used, say, for example, he used a third to go from 15 to 10.
Yeah.
He gets that back from moving back from 19 to 24.
And he saves himself money this year.
Yeah.
Because
so like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you sit here today, 15, 16, 19, draft night comes, that molds into 10, 25, and a future first.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's just how I feel. I felt there wasn't going to be 3 first taken this year anyway, just because salary cap reasons.
Yeah,
then they all come off the books. They all come off the books at the same time. So, and then you're looking at it, like, I'm looking at it not just this year. I'm looking at it, if Jalen Hurts is not the answer, I got to go find that answer. And I can do that if I have 2 firsts the following year, right? I can work my way to get what I need, right? If that's a guy that comes out that doesn't want be somewhere anymore, right? Or trading up to be able to get that guy I want, right? Having 2 firsts to say, here you go, here's a first this year and an extra first, and maybe even something else to get up into the top 5, say, if you need to be able to draft the quarterback you need to draft. So for me, I want either 8 and 16 and then a first next year. I need to go up and be able to get what I think that is the most important position I need right now and the most talent up there. And if that's a Sauce Gardner, if that's a Stingley, if that's another name, if that's the safety from Notre Dame, right? Whoever that may be, right? Then I'm all for that, right? And still having another first this year.
So say, for example, right, they end up with 10, say 9, say they end up at 9. They end up with 9, 24. You end up with that future first, and coming out of the first round,
I don't want 24. I want them in the top 20. I want to keep that one in the top 20. Because
okay.
I'm gonna
so okay, so you go from 16. So then that's fine, because then you can go from 16 to 20, and then you can go 19 out. So you just flip them. You're the 19th pick you're using to trade out, so that's fine. That works fine.
Yeah. You're using the 16th pick to trade out for next year. You're using the 15th pick to go up, right? So that's less, and you're keeping what 19 they have. So
so you're just staying at 19. Okay.
Then I'm staying at 19. So I'm going to either pick 9, whatever, pick 19, and then my second round pick, and I'll probably be able to get a third or a fourth back for that trade out too. I'll get a first for next year and probably like a fourth. Same value I got to go up, right?
Yeah. Okay. So you're recouping that. I'm
recouping either an extra fourth that I'll use a fourth and something else to get in the third round. You know, they'll whatever. I don't even care about the third round pick. I can go a whole round without drafting a guy because I just drafted 3 guys in the first 2 rounds.
Well, I was going to say if you ended up with those 2 picks, you know, from trading up and then trading out, but then you still have the 2, you come out of that with a future first, Sauce, and Jamison Williams.
I mean, I'm going with it because I like Jamison Williams.
Yeah, it's cute. I mean, that's really cute. That's like that's not because you're getting somebody with a high upside, but an injury with the wide receiver, and then you're getting obviously the guy with the cornerback.
Yeah, I just don't think they go. If they had only 2, I could see them going corner, but then something just smells lying to me because that's what they always do.
I agree. The only chance they go wide receivers if they strike out in the next 2 weeks. If they don't get a Juju or Chark or A-Rob, for example.
Maybe they go there, but I can see them even going there later too. I don't know with them.
Keep an eye on this name too. Again, this is not the solve. Like this won't solve and take away the need for a cornerback in the first round or a couple cornerbacks. This is just a depth move. You know, I'm not going to compare it to who's the second. I always blank on his name. The cornerback that we signed extremely late. Steven Nelson. Thank you. Somebody's a depth guy. You know, a veteran presence. AJ Boye just got cut.
Yeah,
I could see us bringing him in like a veteran 1 year, just like a depth kind of move.
Like we didn't draft a corner, you're saying?
No, I'm just saying like we just do that anyway.
I could see
just
that
for depth.
I can see that too. I mean, maybe. I mean, because if I draft a guy like top 10, he's coming in starting day 1 for me. So I mean, if AJ Boye is willing to be like the third corner somewhere, then really the fourth because Avante is going to play the slot. So does he want to be that the other? You know what I mean? I don't know. Some of them guys don't want to really do that. They want to be starters. So to me, if I'm drafting a cornerback, Stingley or Sauce, I mean, them guys are day 1 starters for me.
Yeah, I also look at. There's one other guy I really like. I know they were looking at. What's his name? McDuffie. Even though I'm scared to death of another Washington cornerback. I don't want to do that. Trent McDuffie.
I'm not Trent McDuffie up.
He's also. I don't like the name. The name kind of sucks.
Yeah, it didn't hit me at all. It was like,
and also
Dawson McDuffie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or even Care Elam. Like that's a little. I like that cornerback from Florida.
He'll stink probably.
And then Andrew Booth's hanging around there. Now he's really dropped. I remember a few months ago when Andrew Booth was projected like 12th. Now he's projected 30th.
And I see everybody we're talking about hurts his arm. I know, guys. That's why I'm not like we signed Haason Reddick today, and I love the move. And I asked like people like, do we still have the same quarterback? Because then you really have to listen. So you have to, like I said this earlier, and people are just probably just got here. You have to now cater to him if he's your quarterback, and cater to him is you better have a top 5 rushing attack. Right, cater to him is you better have a top 10 defense, right? You better have things that are going to help him out. You better if you want to be a playoff team, If you want to be a playoff team and you want an opportunity to try to win a division, because your division got weaker the other day. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. Amari Cooper doesn't help them. Doesn't help them at all. So they got weaker, right? And they're probably, I mean, if they get Bobby Wagner, obviously their defense gets a ton stronger. But to me, if I'm the Eagles, I'm going to get Bobby Wagner. I'm going to get, if it's not Bobby Wagner, Jordan Hicks. I'm going to get Matthew or Reed. I'm going to go get some of these guys then, right? You know what I mean? I got to go out and get some of these guys. If I want to then say, okay, I want to give Jalen Hurts the best chance to win here, I better go get a top-notch defense. And then I better go sign another wide receiver that can play of some sort, or I got to draft another one. You know what I mean? It's that simple, because I need to go get him talent there too. And I got to figure out my running back situation.
Who would you rather have if you can only get one? DJ Chark, Marcus Williams?
Marcus Williams.
I agree. Just because I need it more.
I don't know.
It's a black hole. It's a black hole.
Is DJ Chark going to get the ball?
I don't know. I can't answer that. I don't know.
The sad thing is I don't trust this guy throwing the football, right? So I like, to me, the wide receiver means nothing to me. I gotta go get another running back. I need to be able to run the damn football. Right? If I can't run it, I'm in trouble. If I can't get off the field, I'm in trouble. I got to create turnovers that put us in great spots. I got to almost be a top 5 team in turnovers. Like, things have to be perfect for you to win with this. Like, if our winning is like, oh, can we somehow get to an NFC title game? Like, if our winning is that, you better be walking around with a top 5 defense and a top 5 rushing attack. You better be walking around with it. It's the only shot you have. Only shot. You're not going to get there on his arm.
I'm 99% sure the guy I'm about to name is a free agent. I know he's always mapped out to go back to Tampa. Is there any way we can get Leonard Fournette?
Probably not. Brady's back.
Yeah.
But
he's probably going to get paid a little bit more too. And
I don't even want a veteran running back. Go get me Kenneth Walker in the second round. Get me another type of running back early on in the draft then, right? I don't know what's there. Like I said, I don't know what's first round worthy. Like, say at 19, I don't know, right?
What the hell?
Yeah, DeMarcus Lawrence just signed a 7-year, $30 million fully guaranteed extension with the Cowboys.
Isn't he the same guy who refused to take a pay cut last week?
7 years and the $30 million is only than guaranteed, so that's like a 3-year deal, right? But still, I mean, you cash the bag. The $30 million guarantees a lot of money for people. So, Dalvin Cook's brother is a first rounder. Great. Dennis is saying, okay. Like, I mean, listen, you have to go get another running back. You need to lead the National Football League in rushing the football, or top 5, right? So you want to win with them? This is what you have to do. That's what you have to do.
Oh, yeah. James Cook, running back Georgia.
Yeah. If you want to win with Jalen Hurts, you better have a top 5 defense and a top 5 rushing attack.
What do you think the chances are that Rodney's back on another 1 year? And would you be interested in something like that?
Yeah, I'll have Rodney and Marcus Williams back there.
And you're going to have 1 more year of Anthony too, Anthony Harris.
Why is it a 2-year deal?
I think so. I think he's
back. It was a 1-year deal.
I think it was an option. I want to say I could be dead wrong. He could be a free agent. I thought he was back for some reason. Maybe he's not. If he's not back, then I'm definitely cool with bringing in Rodney. Just because after that, you have Marcus Epps, so I know he played well. And other than you have Kayvon, I can't get on the field, Wallace.
Who, Brian Dawkins?
Oh, yeah, Brian Dawkins' son. Yeah. Second coming. So
I would like Rodney back and Marcus Williams, because then I think we're chasing that. We're chasing that ability to be the type of defense we need to be, right? So can I get them back, and can I get a middle linebacker? Like, if you can get me Wagner, then I'm talking top 5. Right? I have the ability to be top 5. Jordan Hicks, I have the ability to be top 10. I think it's definitely a big time upgrade. So, I mean, you give me Hicks, Wagner, and Marcus Williams, and then I go address the other corner in the draft. I'm feeling really good about my defense.
What position is Corey Littleton? Because he just got cut, right, by the Raiders.
Corey Littleton's the middle linebacker, and I'll take Corey Littleton in a heartbeat.
Remember a couple years ago we were talking about him. Yeah, a couple years ago.
How many tackles he had last year? I bet you had a bunch if he played like a full amount. And I do like the Reddick move. I know Torres just said that. Takeshi Torres just said that. I love the Reddick move. He's only 27. He's in his prime. Yup, and he can get after the quarterback.
Corey Littleton stats.
And Harris is a free agent, Dennis said.
Okay, thank you.
I thought it was only a 1 year with him and Nelson and the middle linebacker who never played.
Let's see. Tackles, he had 98 combined, 51 solo, 47 assists. 2 tackles for loss.
How many games did he play?
17.
I mean, any interceptions? Any forced fumbles?
No interceptions. No forced fumbles.
How old is he now?
He is 28.
Okay. All right. What did he do the year before?
Let's see. Played 14 games. He had 82 combined tackles, 56 solo, 26 assists for tackles, 4 tackles for loss, no interceptions, no fumbles. So last year was actually better.
All right.
Played more games and he was better all around.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, he's good. Corey Littleton's good. It's definitely an upgrade. I liked him when he was a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'll take him again. He doesn't like scream to me top 5, but it's definitely an upgrade. You know, and again, it depends what they do. I mean, like I said, they need to finish off their safety position big time before they can even go to the offense side of football. You need 2 safeties in here who can play. And, you know, if you got Matthew and Marcus Williams, then I'm like running around. You know what I mean? Do whatever you want with your linebacker position.
Yeah.
Right? Because you have guys in the middle of your field that can make up for it.
Bill says, Tommy or Ryan, what kind of money do you think it takes to get Tyrann Mathieu? Bill, I got to see what he was making last year, to be honest.
I think you're talking 30 million guaranteed, probably. Talking 25 million guaranteed. You know, in terms of guaranteed money, Bill. I think that's what you're commanding. I don't know what the safeties are commanding nowadays. Probably not as much as the defense at lineman, I would think. Probably around the same.
Let's see, contract. I know somebody was saying earlier, Takeshi said, we don't want Juju to come here and we'll lead the NFL in TikTok dances. Listen, I'm not a big Juju guy, but what I will say is, and this is all considering the fact that a quarterback actually gets him the football, he fits really well with what we're trying to do. And you don't have to pay, I don't think you have to pay an arm and a leg for him. You could probably get him for another 1-year prove-it deal. Because last year's 1-year prove-it deal really blew up in his face because he got hurt so early. But you need somebody to play slot. You need somebody that could play off of Devontae. You're like, again, like it's not a DJ Chark. It's not an Allen Robinson. Absolutely not. But it's instantly better than what you have.
Yeah, I mean, anything's better than Jalen Reagor. So It's going to be a slot guy, most likely, because Quez is more of an outside guy, it seems like.
And you need another big-bodied. You need another big-bodied receiver.
Just listen. I mean, you need guys who can get open. Now, can the guy get him the football? So now you need a rushing attack. And you know, to me, it's like I don't know what other. Like I said, I don't know what other running backs are out there that are younger, per se. But I mean, I got to draft one then. You know, do I have Miles back? Yeah, I have him for 1 more year, right? So okay, I got Miles. He'll be hurt. So who's the backup? Boston Scott.
Well, I think Boston's I think he's a restricted. I think he's a restricted.
Well, I can't have him as my backup.
Would you bring back Jordan Howard? Because I know he's a free agent.
Nah, I'm done with that.
He can't stay healthy.
Well, yeah, I can't have 2 running backs that are never on the field. So I need to go either sign someone or draft someone.
Oh, and you have Gainwell too.
Yeah, I still need to sign someone or draft someone.
Let's see. Positions. Give me 1 minute. Let's see. Running backs.
Yeah, Juju is a decent blocker too. Easy money. I know you're a Matt Corral guy. I've seen you type it in here, and listen, I respect it. You know, you're saying that Matt Corral, how he lands Corral in Vegas, and we own the NFC for 10 years. Listen, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. I don't know. Like, I don't know about these quarterbacks in this year's draft. I almost am just avoiding them. Now, that doesn't mean any of them can't be stars. Make sense? That doesn't mean that this general manager doesn't go up and get one. Like, I would not be shocked. So if you're asking me, Tom, are you shocked if Howie trade up for a quarterback? Absolutely not. I wouldn't be shocked at all. I would not be shocked at all. Just like I'm not shocked about trading out of the first round this year to get a first next year because you know you're going to need one.
It's funny because when you brought up the quarterback thing earlier and I started laughing, it's not because, again, if you were the GM, if I was the GM, we're not taking a quarterback. But I think the only way you're making 3 picks in this year's draft, it's because that third one's a quarterback. It's because somebody falls. Like somebody that they are looking at ends up being where they're not supposed to be.
Yep. I mean, that's fair.
And it's most likely going to be Malik.
And I just can't see it happening this year, right? But I could absolutely see them setting themselves up for next year. Now, if that's if they're smart enough. Knowing them, they're not smart enough, and then they'll put this whole thing around Jalen Hurts. But guess what? If you believe somebody is a franchise quarterback and you believe somebody can change your franchise, go ahead. But your track record's starting to I mean, I can't even say that. I mean, you trade guys at the nick of time, but your track record in drafting them, right, is like a little question. There's question marks to now. I mean, there's question marks. So the last 2 quarterbacks you drafted, one was going to be the MVP and then was never the same. And this guy, and that's a mess now. Now he's back in your division. But this guy can't throw the football enough. So, I mean, when you have defensive coordinator saying he doesn't make his reads, he's looking one place. He can't hit that. He can't hit that spot. Everybody knows what you want to do now, right? So what can you be good at then? Like, we want to be a playoff team again, right, guys? That's our goal. Well, listen, you can't just be Juju and Reed and call it a day, Elliot. You can't be. Like Juju, Reed, and the middle linebacker, and then you can start calling it a day. Then you can start calling it a day there. Now in the draft, I got to go get other things. I got to get another corner, right? I got to get a running back in like the 2nd or 3rd round, right? I got to get I don't even know what else. Maybe probably another defensive lineman. That's probably the way they'll go. Yep. So, I mean, listen, and it depends if you sign 2 safeties. If you only sign 1, then maybe you go safety in the 1st round. I don't know.
So I found do a little quick yes, no with the running backs. These are the free agents. Melvin Gordon, and I have their ages if you need them to.
I mean, I'll take Melvin.
Tariq Cohen just got cut.
Yeah, no, I got enough small.
David Johnson, 30, going on 50.
Yeah, man, I'm good.
Jalen Richard.
I'm good.
Leonard Fournette.
I'll take him, but, I mean, I think he's going back to Tampa.
Philip Lindsay.
Nah.
Raheem Mostert, a 2nd time.
Nah, I'm good. He'll get hurt here.
Cordarrelle Patterson, even though I don't think Falcons ever let him walk.
Nah, I'm good.
Devontae Booker.
I'm good.
James White.
I'm good.
Sony Michel.
I'm good.
Marlon Mack.
I'm good.
Ronald Jones.
I'm good. I mean, maybe I'll take a little look at Ronald Jones. I like Ronald.
It's getting real bad. Dwayne Washington.
No.
J.D. McKissick. Yeah, this is bad.
I'm done.
Yeah, draft somebody, Howie.
But no, I mean, there's names out there. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm just saying pass because I'd rather go like in John's way of Kenneth Walker than in the 2nd round, right? So, you know, there's so many directions and ways you can go to fix your roster real quick here, right? I mean, you have an offseason where you can, and we're a playoff team per se, and now you can really turn your roster up a notch if you really want to, because there's good names out there and really good football players, not only the knowns, right? And I think why this football team has had success is how he's usually good at knowing the knowns and signing them, right? So can you go out and sign some more no's? Because then that will give me more confidence come draft night that we don't have as many holes, right? As many holes. And step 1, Haason Reddick is a great move, Howie. That's a great step in the right direction, right? But you need more defensively, right? And it's not Anthony Harris and Rodney McLeod back as a combo, right? It's a Matthew or a Reed and a McLeod back, or whatever, you know, however the positions match up, right? And then maybe it's a corner, or maybe you wait to draft one, but it's definitely a linebacker and a safety. They got to address that.
I have our middle linebackers in front of me if you want me to read them real quick to you.
Ours?
Or the available ones.
The
available free agents.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Obviously Bobby Wagner.
Yes, yeah.
Anthony Hitchens.
I'll have to look at Anthony Hitchens' numbers, but I would say no on the surface.
Dante Hightower.
I like Dante.
32.
He's old though, yeah.
Jordan Hicks.
Yeah. I mean, I know I was joking. He probably get hurt as soon as he comes back, but I mean, I'll take him.
Kyle Van Noy.
Yeah, I like Kyle.
Jared Davis from the Jets.
I'll stay away from Jets.
Jayon Brown, Tennessee. He's 27.
Yeah, I'll take a peekaboo. Sure.
Anthony Walker.
I don't know enough about Anthony Walker.
And you've got like Quan Alexander.
I do like Quan, but he's old now, I feel like.
27? No, 27.
27.
I thought he was like 32. I'm right there with you.
Like Quan. Quan can play.
Yeah.
Quan can play. There's some names on that list that can play. Like, I mean, I gotta look up Anthony Hitchens' numbers. I gotta look up a few more of these guys' numbers, honestly.
Reggie Ragland, 28.
No, I like Reggie Ragland out of college, not so much anymore.
Two more. You've got Alec Ogletree from Chicago, I like. And Eagles legends LJ Fort.
No.
Who went to the Ravens and ended up being awesome. I'll pull up the safeties.
I think there's more than that. Slasher says, now let's get a wide receiver in the end and team ball out. There's more than that to me. Yeah, like not another D end. Like, I mean,
who's playing QB? Who's playing quarterback 2 right now? McPherson?
Yeah, I mean, we need a lot. We need a linebacker. We need another corner. We need safeties. We could use a wide receiver too. I mean, there's things you need.
Safeties.
Yeah, and nobody wants this easy money. I get you. That could become a problem. Oh yeah, I can't believe he's only 27. Quan Alexander. I can't. I feel like he's been playing for two decades.
The safeties. You've got Terrell Edmonds, 25 Pittsburgh.
I do like Terrell Edmonds a little bit, but they get carved up back there. So I don't know.
Jabril Peppers, 26.
I do like Jabril. He's hurt when he's healthy. I like Jabril.
He'll fit him perfectly. He's hurt. AJ Moore from Houston Texans.
AJ Moore can play a little bit, but I don't know what it does for me.
I could see them doing this. Xavier Woods, Minnesota, because of the connections. Yeah, and they tried getting him last year.
I feel like he can play.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah.
Deion Bush from Chicago, 28.
Nah.
Justin Reed, you mentioned.
Yeah, Justin Reed, yep.
Malik Hooker.
Nah.
Marcus Allen, again, they get torn up back there. Jordan Whitehead.
No, I'm good.
No Whitehead, really?
Wait, with Jordan Whitehead, I don't know. I have to look at this. I got to look at numbers when you talk about this position.
Fair, that's fair. Kareem Jackson, Keanu Neal.
Unless it's like a name I know. What was it? Jordan who? Whitehead.
Yeah, Jordan Whitehead. I went because he was the part of the Buccaneers defense.
I mean, he's got a lot of tackles, got some picks. I mean, again, I'm not. Probably a lot of these names are probably better than what we have, so they're upgrades.
Oh yeah, like none of these are like a Marcus Williams or Justin Reed.
I think I won't even say Justin Reed stuff too.
And then the other two that jumped out to me were you've got lost it. Kareem Jackson and Keanu Neal, but Kareem's 33 now. That's the only issue. Yeah. Don. According to Spot Track, Don, he's 27. Unless I'm reading the fake Spot Track.
He had 88. He had 70 solo tackles. Justin Reed, 3 picks, forced fumble. I mean, like we talk about, I need some ball hawks, and he's young, so I mean, it sort of would fit like a deal that you're not going to get crushed on either, right? Where you don't probably have to give like 30 million guaranteed, right? You could probably give 15 million guaranteed. You give a 3-year deal, guy put till he's 24, right? You know what I mean? You get a 3-4-year deal, 15, 20 million guaranteed to him. I mean, there's players out there. There's players out there. So if you want to get better real quick, from the names you mentioned, there's some players out there that go yup, and yup, and next thing you know, people are talking about us as arguably the best team in the NFC East. I mean, it can change that quick, even with a lackluster quarterback. Because we're just saying, oh, look at his defense, right? Like look what the Eagles did on defense. Haason Reddick, Bobby Wagner, Justin Reed, look what they did on defense. They said, hey, we're going to stop you. We're going to take the football away from you, and we're going to run the ball down your throat.
Sauce Gardner,
right? I can make us a top 5 defense real quick, and then probably I'd probably go sign another D end. They're like a lower level, like low risk, high reward D end. You know what I mean?
No, Bill, I didn't mention him because we already talked about him. I knew.
No, I would take it too.
Yeah. Oh, I would definitely take Tyrann Mathieu as well. Bobby was asking like who are some of the best wide receivers. I'll run through that real quick for you, Bobby. You've got A-Rob, Allen Robinson. You got Jarvis. Now, what the hell's going on with Devontae Adams? Apparently, he's going to hold out if he's on a franchise tag. He's not going to play.
You know how I feel about all this stuff, these reports. Like, I believe whatever report when it happens. I always say this about guys holding out, guys not doing this, not doing that, right? So I just don't take much stock into it until it happens.
I don't think he would dare hold out with Aaron Rodgers there. Again, I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers is perfect. Listen, he needs to start winning some playoff games, but I don't see that happening, to be honest. Will Fuller, even though he never can stay healthy. Jamison Crowder, T.Y. Hilton, even though T.Y. is 32 now.
Crowder would be a good fit.
Yeah, I would really like him.
He can play the slot. If you're looking for like a cheaper wide receiver, right, just to fill in the gap for a minute because you're spending money on defense, I'm okay with that. Makes sense? It depends on like where you're going. Like I'm looking to spend all my money on the defense side of the football because I don't have a guy who can throw the football. So then I got to look for like one of these like lower names where I'm like, okay, he can play the slot. That's a good fit for the direction we're going.
You've got, Laquan Treadwell, you've got in here DJ Chark, D.D. Westbrook.
Chark I'll take.
100%.
The other ones, no. The other two, no. But I think like a Crowder is a good name. A Juju for cheap is a good name. Somebody for cheap, that's a good name. Like I don't have to overpay for Juju. I don't have to overpay for Crowder, but they both come in, they fit what I'm looking for, a guy who can play in the slot. That's what I'm looking for. So if I can get that, I'm in good shape. Now, can I do those 3 things on defense? Can I get a linebacker and get a safety, bring McLeod back, call it a day till draft night?
I could see a smaller type move being Zach Pascal because of Indianapolis, because of that connection. Now, he would come in and he would be I would hope he's your wide receiver 3. He's not a wide receiver 2. I get it, he's only 27. But that's another name I would keep an eye on also. If it's not a Jamison Crowder, which I agree, Tom, I would really like him. Would you take a chance on like an AJ Green? I think he's cooked, personally.
This doesn't fit.
Well, and I looked at, I remember early in the season when he was with the Cardinals, everyone's like, oh, well, he's having a resurgence. Well, because he's playing next to DeAndre Hopkins. When he doesn't have any pressure on him. When he needs to be dependable, he's cooked.
Yeah, I'm good. Like I said, we need a slot guy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about need, right? It's more so than like, okay, who's better at this or that. Like I think, I think a guy like Juju's almost like a sort of like a no-brainer. He's still young, right? He's still young and he has upside.
Which player is this, Tom? Sorry.
Juju. There's some upside.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And he can run block. Now
and he's going to come in wanting to prove it.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably give him a 2-year deal. Maybe they even give him a 3-year deal. Maybe it's like something like it doesn't have to be as much prove it because the year before he got hurt, he had 9 touchdowns. So it's not like he had a bad year. So
how old is he?
25.
Oh yeah, so you can have him grow along with Devontae.
Yeah. It's not like I mean, if you want to really get him right. So any run blocks, like Key said. So listen, do what you got to do. I mean, in terms of stuff like that, if you have to give a guy an extra year just to get him, go ahead. But this better be an upgrade to defense time here when it comes to the Eagles. Better be constant upgrading a defense.
Yeah, we can't pull a Phillies and just
So the
go
offense
status
doesn't
quo.
have the quarterback to be like, oh, let me go get all these wide receivers and throw it all around the yard.
Well, also too, the biggest thing with this defensive coordinator, which the jury's still out, I guess. Gun to my head, I would imagine that it's not going to work out with the guy, but it was all about, hey, we need to have him in for the, in the system for 2 years because we need to have the ability to get his guys. Well, go out and get his guys then.
Yeah.
Reddick's a good start. Okay, great. But you can't go into next season with a gigantic hole at safety and cornerback and
linebacker.
And again, Haason makes the defensive line that much better, but I'm still not done. I get it's a really good start today. And for once, we were one of the teams that got started early and we didn't wait until the second week, but there's still a lot to be desired.
Yeah,
I need to know what they're going to do with Fletcher. I have no idea. I would love to say, Brandon Graham's going to be exactly what he was the 2 years before he got hurt. The chances of that happening are slim to none, ladies and gentlemen.
No, and then the only thing you say, the rebuttal is okay, Josh Sweat becomes a starter, right? But then who do you have behind that, right? So then that's a trickle-down effect. But, I think BG will be okay. I don't expect the same BG as before. I don't think anybody should expect that, right? So you're right. There's question marks. No question about it. And a lot of them.
And then as far as your interior defensive line, I like Milton. I think you do too, Tom. Milton Williams. But it's what's Fletcher going to do? Javon, he had a good first half of the year, then he really fell off. I'm actually interested to see if his contract – I don't think his contract got reworked last year. So they might be able to do that because we all know how he loves taking a couple of these long-term contracts, especially on the line, and reworking them. So I'd be interested to see if they can do that. But it seems like right now they're not begging teams to give them an offer for Fletcher, but the second they can get a deal that's worthwhile to where they can deal with the cap hit, they're going to move him as soon as June 1st hits.
Maybe. I mean, they might not either. They might not because they know the importance of depth on their defensive line. So if they're trying to win, they're not going to move them. It depends what they're trying to do.
This could be like a Zach Ertz situation like last year where it looks like he's going to get traded, but then they're going to keep him in. And then if they're not in a winning situation, they deal him mid-season type thing.
Yeah, or Milton is playing at a level of Dallas Goedert per se in their eyes, where they're like, okay, this is the next guy, right?
And Milton gets like a Milotic extension type thing, or not a Milotic, a Josh Sweat extension.
Yep, exactly.
Like a November, here's a 3-year with a 4th-year option contract extension.
Exactly, but it's going to be interesting because if they don't listen, they're going to bring in safeties, obviously, of some sort, and it could just be low-level guys to fill the Band-Aids. But to me, you don't go out and sign Haason Reddick for that kind of money. If you're not thinking about winning, right? I mean, you got to be thinking about winning. You made the playoffs last year with smoke and mirrors, right? Mm-hmm. So if you add to a football team that made the playoffs smoke and mirrors, you'd expect that football team to get better, right? Like today, we're better than we were last year because hey, we got a pass rusher. Now, are we better? Did that beat Tampa? No, it doesn't. You know what I mean? No, it doesn't. You still probably get rolled. So that doesn't matter. So what do you need to beat some of these teams? Well, you need to have
throw the ball.
Yeah, well, guy to throw the ball to start, right? Guy to throw the ball to start, but you better get some talented running back. You better get a talented running back in here too, right? You better get talented and just have an extremely talented defense, and that still might not even get it done.
Yeah. Yep. We need to make sure again, and Tom, you and I talked about this yesterday. We're 5 weeks from the draft? It's really coming up fast on us. I honestly think what you're going to see in the next 2 weeks, all it's really going to do is eliminate certain things that they're going to prioritize in the draft, just because of all the flexibility that they do have to where, hey, you want to move up into the top 7? Great. If you want to move back, great. If you want to just stay status quo and go 3 best players available, awesome. I think what they're going to do in the next 2 weeks is really going to determine, are they going to try and get cute and take another wide receiver in the first round? Or are they going to go up and they're going to get a corner? Are they going to go up and get a safety? Are they're going to try and get cute with a wide receiver? Who knows? Because I could assure you, like we talked about earlier, wide receiver seems like it's always on their board. sometimes for the wrong reasons in the first round. But you land a Chark, Robinson, or Juju Smith-Schuster, I would be extremely surprised if they took a wide receiver in the first round because, one, you have so many other holes besides that, and two, you wouldn't address it if you didn't have a further plan later down the road in the draft.
I mean, listen, they can still draft it because they went out and signed other things and they feel like, they're good in other spots, right? But that's really dictated on if they draft 3. Would I bring Rasul back? I don't think Rasul will come back.
I think he's pissed. I think he got pissed.
But whatever. I mean, sure, right? Like I would bring him back. It wouldn't stop me from drafting one. It wouldn't stop me from doing something like that. Again, that's like more of like a Band-Aid, even though he had a really good year. To me, it's still a Band-Aid. Like Anthony Harris Band-Aid, some of these moves are Band-Aids. I think, by this signing, you have to then say, okay, well, what are you guys trying to do? Right? Like it sounds like with that you're signing a defensive lineman, right? They can get after the quarterback, right? So you're trying to win then. It's one thing if you sign like a low level guy. You sign a guy who can get after the quarterback.
And here's the other thing, fam. Don't rule out the trade. I mean, this is where my trade machine comes in, but Andre Dillard getting traded like the Bengals for Tyler Boyd. We talked about that a couple months ago. I think that's very real. Because you're getting somebody in return in Tyler Boyd, and then they're getting somebody that they drastically need, and that's a left tackle.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways this can go.
Mm-hmm.
But they definitely have to. They definitely have things to address, and I'll continue to say it. I think more on the defensive side of the football. I mean, they really have things to address, and this isn't like just a Haason Reddick and now their defense they need to be.
Oh yeah, no, it's not Haason Reddick. Oh, we can't find a loss type thing. Jesse, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, listen, could he be a bum? Sure. Is he focused on TikToks a lot? Yeah, but remember, guys, he's not coming in here as a $28 million a year guy to play wide receiver 1. He's coming in here to play a role. Okay? Like Tom said, he could easily be somebody 2-year, 3-year deal if they believe that he can grow along with Devontae, but he's not coming in here to be the guy. So no. I'm not worried about what he did in Pittsburgh. He was supposed to be the replacement for Antonio Brown. He needed to be that guy. He doesn't need to be that guy here. No. You need to be better than Jalen Reagor. That's what you need to be.
Yeah, we don't even have a quarterback. So, I mean, we got a lot to talk about Eagles in the coming weeks. Hey, let's go Sixers. Big game tonight. All right, come out hot. Get off to a great start. Everybody make sure you hit the like and subscribe. You got the Sports Hounds coming up here in a minute, and that's followed by the boys on the Flight Zone. So, Sports Hounds talking some March Madness, some brackets. So, get your brackets in. Have a good talk with them, and then the boys on the Flight Zone will give you a post game of Sixers. So, everybody stay where you're at. Turn your alerts on. That's Ryan Brodo. I'm Tom Arnone. Every Monday we are brought, I almost said Tuesday because of last week, right? We are brought to you by FanUp. FanUp is the best way to enjoy fantasy sports, daily NBA contests, and more. Win great prizes. Sign up today. Use promo code A2D for 5,000 bonus points. That's a $50 value. FanUp right on the Apple Store.